Freedom fighters, coming back with another one. Wishing you a happy enslavement day. A happy extortion day. Well, I was doing that last video, the Civil War movie review, and I was going through my computer, gathering up some clips I had of Bill Cooper. And, whenever I get reminded of what they did to that man for just daring to live free, that shit always upsets me. But then I was like, man, is it tax season already? And here we are. So I figured today I'd give you, a video on that topic. And I wanted to share an episode of Redacted. I don't know if any of you guys watch that channel, but it's Clay and his wife, Natalie Morris. And I believe he was a Fox News anchor or something like that. But he ended up starting his own channel here on YouTube. And, they have some interesting discussions and stuff like that. So I recommend you check it out. And I'll try, to put the link in the description below. But he interviewed this guy, Anthony Hudson. And I think the video is called Stop Paying Your Taxes. And he basically talks about, all the stuff we're facing today. It's a criminal, rogue, illegitimate, tyrannical government that is ruling over us. But for some reason, people feel like they just have to keep paying for their enslavement. And there's one point in that video where he says, they can't kill us all. And that's kind of where that's going to be your black pill for today is, well, they can. One by one, they stifle dissent until we are where we are today. A nation of law-abiding citizens, of cowards, of cucks. So, everyone just goes along to get along, and they pay their extortion fees, pay for their enslavement, just to get the mob off their back. Because that's exactly what it is. It's no different than the mob saying, oh, you want to operate your business here, you want to do this. Well, we just want 5%, just a little piece of the pie. And then they come back around wanting 10%, and then they want 15%, and you're just getting extorted by a different mob. So yeah, that's what it is. And then people just do it, again, to go along, to get along. And what do you get for it? More inflation, you pay for illegals, open borders, fund foreign wars, that they could send your kids to go die in, pay politicians salaries. Yeah, so that's what you get. And Nunya on the Back 40 did a video today. No, not on this, but I'm going to kind of link it together. And I don't know if you guys know his channel, but I recommend you check him out. He's does a lot of good stuff, and I see him in a lot of the same chat rooms and videos that I'm on. So he's definitely a member of the community. But anyway, he did a video today about how he was trying to renew his driver's license. And they said, you need to join the Real ID system. And, he had to parade all his documents out. And they were saying, well, you need to prove this. And we need your birth certificate and blah, blah, blah. But, and then he mentions, because he's in Texas, he's like, man, all these illegals are flowing in here by the millions. You guys are giving them, debit cards and phones. And, they don't need any of this documentation. Meanwhile, they get all the benefits, they get to vote, they get to do all this stuff. But, the citizen is getting screwed over. And that's why I said you have to join the crew. Become undocumented. What if I identify as an undocumented American? That's how we need to become. Become undocumented, become ungovernable, as they say. And there was someone in his comment section in that video telling him, just go ahead and do it, sign up. They don't care if you'll rot in jail, they'll throw you in prison. And I'm like, this is the exact attitude that got us to where we're at in America. Like I said, everyone's trying to be a law-abiding citizen and do as they're told, going along to get along, and just obey to keep them off your back just for a little longer. And, it's the land of the free and home of the slaves is what we've become. And folks, that's what it's going to come down to is, Are you going to join the Real ID? Are you going to take the arm ticket? Are you going to get your mark? They're going to sign you up for the CBDCs. Are you going to disarm? It all comes down, at some point you're going to have to draw the line. But anyway, back on the topic, that was kind of a little side rant here. I was going to talk about, the taxes and this criminal mob organization that they're running. But OMG, another organization I'll have you check out by James. He used to run the Veritas organization, but he did an undercover sting video of a guy called Alex Mina, who was some kind of IRS official or employee, and he was joking about, how they're arming up all the IRS, and he was talking to this guy, I guess who he thought was going to be a future employee, and he said, well, yeah, you're going to remember the first guy you shoot, but, once you reach 100, all the guys in the middle are just a blur. You'll never remember them. You'll only remember the first guy that you shoot. So that just plans, that lets you know what they're planning to do. And they already have done it. People act like this is a new thing, like, oh, they're arming the IRS or whatever it is. Bill Cooper will tell you a long time ago, I believe that was in the 90s, that they armed the IRS, and they'll come after you and kill you back then. Now, it might not have been the IRS themselves. They'll send the sheriff's department or feds or some other organization after you, but either way, it's all the same thing. Bringing up the redacted channel too, there was this other article I wanted to look up. Yeah, so they interviewed this guy, Payman Matada. I know I totally just butchered that name, my bad, brother. But I'll try to also link this in the description below. But this guy is talking about how he hasn't paid taxes in 30 years. And, this guy is an Iranian, I believe. I was watching his video. And, man, there's some based Iranians out there. This guy seems more American than a lot of the Americans that I meet on a daily basis. And I've talked before about the Patrick Bet David that does Value Entertainment. He does also the PBD podcast. I believe he's also Iranian. And there's a lot of immigrants from these foreign countries that people write off as like, but they came here for the right reasons. They want true freedom. They want what America promised. A lot of these new immigrants are just coming for the handouts. They don't want true freedom, and we'll talk about that in a future video. I've been planning a video for a long time about, just talking about freedom in general. What is freedom? And I've said before, it's pretty sad that it's come to a point where you just have to lay it out for people. But yeah, so this Payman Matada, was talking about that, and I'll link that below. But yeah, man, so just let me know, what you guys think about it. And, I was watching this one channel the other day that made a good analogy, but he likened taxes to, like, campaign donations. And people usually don't have a problem with taxes in general as long as they get to decide where it's going. If you got to say, like, yeah, here, I'm paying my taxes this year and it goes to this organization, they would have no problems with it. Or, as long as it's voluntary. Anything that isn't voluntary is forced to you by, the barrel of a gun. And, campaign donations, no one's putting a gun to your head saying you have to pay this, support this guy or that guy. You do it on your own will and volition. And if you don't support either of them, no one says you have to donate to them. So again, that's how I feel it should be. At that time of the year, if it's like it's time to pay taxes, and again, taxation without representation, if you don't feel represented by the people in office, why are you obligated to send them your money? And again, if I was represented and I had a representative government and it came to that time of the year, I'd be like, sure, I'll gladly donate to this cause. Again, it should all be on your own volition. You should want to donate to the cause. Otherwise, if it's not voluntary, it's tyranny. So let me know what you guys think. I'll catch you on the next one. And as always, remember, we are on our own. No one's coming to save us. So get right with God, because only God can save you. Freedom Fighters out.